Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, the father of a nation and one of the most influential person, philosophers, thinker, politician we have had in this country. Particularly Gandhi's influence on modern India is huge. Gandhian philosophy is there in our polity, in our social movement, in the making of constitution. And one important thing which I would like to share with you is that Gandhian philosophy has become very important as far as ecological movement is concerned, environment movement is concerned. And many scholars have argued that Gandhi was careful, Gandhi was insightful to see how machinery, Western civilization are posing threat to ecology, to environment. So we should today study Gandhi. What is his view on, let's say, ecology? What is his views on environment? And by the end of the class, I will be talking about briefly the political thought of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. He is also a very influential leader. He is considered as the messiah of the downtrodden, and Ambedkar ji was very much critical of Gandhian way of thinking. So you will get at least two paradigms, two big intellectuals, philosophers, thinkers, and they would be looking at the issue of environment and machinery in a two different ways. And as a scholar of environmental science, when you go to make policies, these thoughts will be very, very helpful to you. So let me start with Gandhi. And Gandhi ji wrote a very small book. I have already shared with you the soft copy. This book is known as Hind Swaraj. I have carried the book to the class. I will show you. This is the book, Hind Swaraj. You can have a look at it. So you can read it in one sitting or maybe in two sittings. So Hind Swaraj, or the Indian Home Rule, was written way back in 1909. And I was one of the participants of centenary celebration of Gandhi's Hind Swaraj. It was held in 2009 in India International Center, and I went to attend it, and that year I also joined JNU. So we were very eager to know Gandhi, and one question on Gandhi will be asked in political science. So Gandhi wrote this book Hind Swaraj 100 years back, more than 100 years back, okay, 909. It was basically written in Gujarati. Gandhi wrote something which was taken up by people, which was appreciated by people, and later his book, his writing was translated into Hindi, English, and so many other languages. And Gandhiji's writing, which is there in the Hind Swaraj, they were published and they were serialized in Indian Opinion magazine. So what do you mean by serialized? Means it was published gradually. Several articles were published, and then later it was compiled into the form of a book. And in this book there are only 19 to 20 chapters. 20th chapter is conclusion. So you can say it has got 20 chapters, or you could say 19 chapters. So the machinery, there is a chapter which is called machinery, which is chapter number 19. Okay. So I'll be talking about machinery, what Gandhiji has to say about the machine industry. Okay. And one thing you have to keep in mind, that Gandhiji was not studying at your university. He was not very much into this environmental studies. So whatever he wrote about environment and ecology, it was not very direct. Okay. So he basically argued on machinery, on the question of machine and industrialization. So by looking at his writing on machine and industrialization, we are trying to get his views on ecology and environment. So one thing you have to keep in mind, that I cannot speak for hundreds of volumes which Gandhi wrote, but in Hind Swaraj, he is not directly talking about ecology and environment. Okay, so he is talking about machine, and from his writing on machine, we are trying to take some views. Okay, Gandhiji, tell me, what do you think about machine and what do you think about environment and ecology? So Gandhiji, in chapter number 19, Machinery, he said that when he read R.C. Datta's Economic History of India, he became very sad. You would ask me, who is this R.C. Dutt, okay, and what is this Economic History of India? When Britishers came, the economic policy industrializations which were introduced by Britishers, they had very negative impact on Indian economy. Okay, so R.C. Dutt, Dadabhai Nauroji and other people, they wrote books, they wrote several articles to tell that how the British policy is not doing good in India. So R.C. Dutt was one of them, and these freedom fighters are known as those who laid the foundation for economic nationalism. So R.C. Dutt book, Economic History of India, Gandhiji read, and he became very sad to see the conditions of India. Why? Because colonial government was in power, okay, and the policies of the colonial government was not favoring Indians, okay, or Indians were becoming poorer. Okay, so Gandhiji has said that his argument is that the machinery, the machine, the industrialization is leading to impoverishment of India. So the machine, the introduction of machine by the Britishers, industrialization, it is creating problem for India. It is not leading to development. Okay, it is creating more problem, and people are becoming poor. And he says that the products which are made in Manchester, a city, an industrial city in England, those products were being brought to India, they were sold in Indian market, and Gandhi is saying that those products are working against Indian handicrafts. So they are not good for us. So he started reading R.C. Dutt, and Gandhiji was also traveling far and wide. He has already seen India. He went to England to study. Now he was at that time in South Africa. So he is meeting people, he is looking at different areas, and on the basis of those experiences, Gandhi is saying, okay, this industrial policy of Britishers are not good. It is leading to backwardness of India, and particularly Indian handicrafts is being under attack. It is under attack because of the colonial policy. So, what is, when we read Gandhiji's statement, what is Gandhiji trying to say? So, my reading is that Gandhiji and Gandhian thought was very much influenced by economic nationalism. Those who talked about economic nationalism, they influenced Gandhian thinking. Gandhiji had also supported Swadeshi movement. Okay, what is the Swadeshi movement? That we should use local product. Okay, we should not use products which are made by somebody in far away area. Okay, so when he is talking about that we should use products which are locally produced, that doesn't mean that Gandhiji is against people who are living outside. Basically, Gandhiji is against this practice that one particular company or industry will make all the products, okay, and it will sell and it will ruin products which are made by people elsewhere. That day, you remember, Sandeep Pandeyji was with us in a webinar, and he said that the soft drink companies, okay, they are taking water from the ground, okay, water level is going down, and through advertisement it is being promoted that, okay, if you drink cold drink, you are empowered. And what is cold drinking doing? That the local way of making, let's say, sharbat, bel ka sharbat, nibu pani, sattu, and so many other aam pani, maybe pudina pani, nibu pani, these all options which are very good, okay, these are being replaced. If you go to train and AC train, you will not find people selling it. And I remember it some time back. I think Gian Dres, who is well-known economist, he wrote a paper that earlier when he used to travel, okay, on train he used to get all kinds of the berry, jamun, fruits, okay, guava. But now you will not find those things. You have to sell particular products which are selected by one agency which has been given authority, who has been given tender by the railway to sell particular products. So basically Gandhiji's idea of Swaraj is not that we have to hate somebody who is outsiders. No, he's basically saying, suppose you are from Haryana, why can't you produce your own drink in Haryana at the local level, maybe lassi and something? Why should you buy something from some other countries, and now that product is supplied to you and it takes lot of time? So Gandhiji is basically influenced by economic nationalism. So we generally always think that, okay, Gandhiji was important in India's nationalist movement, Nehruji was important, but so many other people before the rise of Gandhi, Dadabhai Nauroji, R.C. Dutt and other, they also laid the ground for nationalist movement, because they did a study and they produced good books telling Indians that, okay, how the British policies are not doing good for India. And when the leaders read those books, they become aware of it, and after that they started articulating those concerns in popular language. So Gandhiji is, of course, is basically influenced by economic nationalism, and that is why Gandhiji has praised Swadeshi movement. You might be knowing this fact that in Bengal Swadeshi movement happened. Okay, so Gandhiji is very appreciative of Swadeshi movement. So Gandhi is making some kind of, what should I say, logic. Machinery, what machinery is doing? Machinery is destroying Europe. Okay, it is not only destroying India. He is basically also saying that whenever there is a machinery, it will destroy. Okay, we have an ill effect. Okay, we have an ill impact, but we should never think that machinery is doing great thing in England also. Okay, so the Gandhiji is saying that in England also poor people is suffering. Okay, poor people are suffering. If you read Charles Dickens' novel, you might have read in English literature, or maybe if you are, let's say, fond of reading literature, read Charles Dickens. Okay, so he is talking about how the industrial society is undergoing change, and how the life of the poor people, the marginalized people, are becoming worse with each passing day. And Karl Marx, the philosopher, the thinker, he was also observing everything in 18th and 19th century in Europe, and that is why he wrote Capital, and he provided big criticism of, let's say, economic system. Basically Gandhiji is saying that the whole propaganda that we are civilizing, we are bringing modernity, these are all being backed up by machine, and this machine is not creating problem for Indians, it is also destroying Europe also, and machine is turning even the Europe into desolate place, empty place, barren place. Okay, Birana. Okay, it is, the life is no longer there. Okay, it is turning into graveyard, something like that. It is becoming Birana, it is becoming desert. Okay, so the Gandhiji is critical of machine. So what we have seen, that in Gandhian philosophy, of course there is nationalism. Okay, Gandhiji is of course moved by nationalist thinking, but when you read these passages, I find that Gandhiji is not only nationalist, but he is also looking at the ill effect, the negative effect of machinery and industrialization, and in this way he is somehow echoing, okay, the Marxist concern and the socialist concern. Gandhiji is not Marxist. Okay, Gandhiji is not socialist, but the way here Gandhiji argues, we could see the influence of Marxism and the influence of socialism on his thought. So there is a term which is very popular in India, which is called Gandhian socialism. There were many leaders in India, they were influenced by both Gandhi and by socialism also. So we had a group of intellectuals, philosophers, thinkers, activists who were called as Gandhian socialists. Ram Manohar Lohia, you might have heard Ram Manohar Lohia. Ram Manohar Lohia was very important leader, freedom fighter. He studied in Germany, he studied economics, and he was the man who was editing the magazine of foreign affairs for the Congress party. He was one of the main leaders of Congress Socialist Party, but when India got independence, he did not join Congress ministry, although he knew Nehru ji a lot. Okay, he admired Nehru ji a lot, but after independence, he became critical of Nehru and his ideology, and he started organizing opposition party. So the Ram Manohar Lohia is very important in a sense that when there was no opposition in India, he organized oppositions and he largely argued from socialist point of view. And Lohia ji is great in a sense that Lohia ji talked about caste and talked about class also. So the Lohia ji remained influenced by Gandhi whole through his life. But Lohia ji was also a Marxist. So the person like Ram Manohar Lohia can be called socialist Gandhian or a Gandhian socialist. And if you go to, let's say, New Delhi railway station, you will find Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital. It is named after the same Ram Manohar Lohia. Ram Manohar Lohia died very early. He had some prostrate, and that he underwent some surgery, but he could not survive. He was very brilliant leader. Okay, he died much before emergency. So the Gandhi ji is also influenced by Marxist and socialist concern. So you could see here that Gandhi ji is now talking about Indian situation, and he is making a division, okay, between the period before industrialization and the period after industrialization. So Gandhi ji is saying that Bombay, you already understand that the early centers of industrializations were the big cities, Kolkata, Bombay, okay. So in Bombay, Gandhi ji is saying that workers of the mill are becoming like slaves, okay. So the understanding is that when modernity will come, okay, when industry will come, people will become more empowered. But Gandhi ji is speaking that no, people are not becoming modern, people are not becoming empowered, but they are becoming slaves, and particularly the condition of women is also shocking, okay. And if machinery grows in this country, if more and more machines are there in this country, what will happen? That it will make the land unhappy land. So Gandhi is giving one example, that suppose there are two conditions. One condition is that we have to buy products from Manchester, and another case would be that we will put up machine in India, and that machine will produce everything here, and we did not buy products from let's say Manchester. So which is good and which is bad? So the Gandhiji has said that buying goods from Manchester is less harmful than establishing factory in India. Why? Because if I buy something from Manchester, what I am doing, I am losing money. But once we establish machine in India, we are establishing evil system in India. So how much critical he is? You understand this point? Gandhiji is saying that the issue is not that we are buying products from Manchester. The main issue is that we should not have machine per se. In India, what is happening? That people generally argue in terms of nationalist thinking. Suppose if this mobile phone is made by a country which is let's say not in India, then we will say it is bad. But if this mobile phone is made in India, we will say it's great. But Gandhiji is not talking in that term. Gandhi is saying machine per se is bad. We don't need machine. We don't need machine. It's yes. नहीं वो ये नहीं कर रहे हैं. गांधी इज सेइंग कि आप देखो एक सिचुएशन इमेजिन करो. लेट्स एज्यूम ए सिचुएशन. दिस इज अ मिनरल वाटर. ओके, सो दिस मिनरल वाटर इज मेड इन लेट्स से इंग्लैंड. So one way of looking at this issue would be, अरे ये तो इंग्लैंड में बनता है ना, it is made in England. Why can't we have our own company and we will make mineral water? And it will become desi. Okay. So the Gandhi is, there is one way of looking at it. So Gandhi is saying that having machine in India is much worse. He is not supporting that we should buy things from outside. He is saying that even if you buy things from outside, it can be tolerable because you are only losing money. But if you bring machine here, the machine will lead to exploitation. So he is not supporting that we should buy it. He is supporting that I am not opposing machine because it is in England. I am opposing machine because anywhere if machine is put, it is bad. It's not mera machine or tera machine. It is not mera machine or tera machine. For example, if you read some of the environmental debates, okay, if some environmental summit or maybe is held somewhere, and if Indian delegates go, okay, Indian elites go, and if it is asked, sir, what about pollution control? So they would ask, no, we have to first remove poverty. How could you, big country, can put so much regulations on us? Okay, you understand? So Gandhiji would not agree with this thinking. The question is not that who is polluting and who is not polluting. The question is not that rich have already polluted. So now it is our turn to pollute and then we will stop. Gandhi would say that pollution per se is bad. If this machine is there in Manchester, I am not opposing it because it is Manchester. Anywhere this machine is there, whether it is in CP or whether it is in Delhi and Haryana, this machine is not good. So here we could say that Gandhiji is of course influenced by economic nationalism, but he goes beyond economic nationalism because he is criticizing machine per se. He is not criticizing that, okay, this machine is good because it is owned by the Britishers. If the same machine is put up in India, it is good. He is not talking like this. He is talking machine is bad. That the British Raj in India is supported by the moneyed people. Not the common people is supporting in England. Generally what we tend to do, we start hating everybody. We generally, what happens that we start hating everybody. We should not hate anybody. We should always look at the issue that who is supporting. For example, suppose you are from Haryana and you go to Bihar, okay, and some Biharis have mistreated you. So we generally tend to believe that, oh, Biharis are not good. But we should not say that all Biharis are bad. We have to keep in mind that who is against you, who has harmed your interest, and maybe that the poor Biharis are also suffering at the hands of the rich Bihari. So similarly Gandhiji is saying that the moneyed people are supporting colonialism because colonialism supports their interests. So we are not against any common British, okay, because the common British in England is also the victim of machinery. But one thing we have to keep in mind, that Gandhiji has criticized that Rockefeller, whether he is Indian or whether he is American, he should be criticized. But Gandhiji can also be criticized. Why? Because Gandhiji was criticized by many historians and scholars that Gandhiji often defended the interest of the Indian business classes, and those Indian business classes were financing him and supporting him in a big way. So we are also making criticism of Gandhiji. Gandhiji stayed at a place which was supported by, let's say, big industries. Okay, so I have brought this point to you to keep in mind. Also be critical of what Gandhiji is saying. Okay, and Gandhiji can also be criticized in a sense that if you read this book, he is basically creating some kind of a binary, that the ancient India, the ancient civilization was sacred and the machine made the Western civilization is evil. So we have to also, I am not very much influenced by what he is saying. So if you read Gandhiji's this book Hind Swaraj, I have got this feeling that Gandhiji, okay, he is right to criticize Western machine and industrialization, but somehow Gandhiji has this tendency to glorify what was great in ancient India. You understand? So that is also we should not support. I will not support it. Because to say that one civilization is completely satanic or evil or bad, another civilization is great, that is not the great tool to do it. So the Gandhiji, the one problem with Gandhian way of thinking is that he has created a binary, Indian civilization and Western civilization. Indian civilization is based on morality and Western civilization propagates immorality. Indian civilization is based on God and Western civilization is based on godless, and Indian civilization is great. Such kind of thinking cannot be tenable, you understand? Because our traditions have also got so many social ills. Yes.
Gandhi always talked about the dialogue.
Yes.
Space for dialogue.
Okay.
But the same ideas don't sound as if there is a medium to have a dialogue.
Okay. But I will also give you another quotation where Gandhiji is saying that okay, I do not support everything which is bad in Indian traditions. He is also saying. So if any scholars or any philosopher, if he writes over a long period. There may be there may be some points when he has said something that you do not support it. So that is why the task of a philosopher or thinkers become very challenging. Because if you are really serious scholar, you will read, you will think, you are not motivated by some interest. That okay, you will take one line here and you will jump and you say, oh, Gandhiji was like this. So the Gandhiji here, you could see that Gandhiji is too much praising Indian civilization.
This was in 1909.
But in the same book, he is also saying that I am not supporting everything which is bad in Indian civilization.
Sir, another question.
Yes.
Since you have read Gandhi and this book as well. So what do you think was the difference in Gandhi of 1909 and 1947?
Okay, I'll be answering these questions after the end of the class. Okay. So in Gandhian thought, you could see that there is also some binary. While Gandhiji is supporting, he has all the praise for, let's say, ancient civilization. I would like to give you the example of Max Muller. You know, there is a Max Muller mark in German center, some German embassy, or I don't know, some place is there near this India Lodi Road. Okay. So have you heard the name of Max Muller? Max Muller never visited India. He was a great scholar of Sanskrit, okay, in 19th century, and he changed his name into Max Muller. He was so much influenced by India, and when he wrote this book, there are 4 or 5 lectures which are compiled into a book form, into a book, okay. And he was giving lecture when the IS officers were about to join India, okay. So he was speaking to the IS officers, okay, the colonial IS officer. He gave his lecture not in India, in Cambridge, okay, and they were about to join Indian services. And he was telling IS officer that okay, when you are going to India, you should not make these mistakes. And as a teacher, he was telling those IS officers that what India is, what is this country, he was basically narrating. So the Max Muller, if you read Max Muller's lecture, or if you listen to the lecture, you will find that Max Muller was too much praising India, okay, too much praising Indian ancient civilization. He was praising Indian village society, and he was arguing that Sanskrit language and the Aryan race and also the Europeans, they shared lot of common things. And he gave the argument that you take the example of Agni, which is called fire, okay. So the fire in there is also the term called ignite, something called ignis, something like this. So he was giving that example that how fire means Agni, that yes, what? No, how the fire, which is Agni in Sanskrit, has some similarity with ignis, which is Latin or Greek term. So he was basically trying to show that how Aryans and how Europeans, they had same connections and how Sanskrit is so much linked with the Indo-European languages. He was basing this argument, and he said that Sanskrit is such a great subject, and he was praising Hindus, that oh, Hindus are very much loyal, Hindus are great people. On the other hand, he was very critical of Mohammedans, yani Muslims. So when I was reading his lectures, okay, so my understanding is that whatever Gandhi and other people later started saying, praising India, okay, India is such a great civilization, India is all about village, Bharat to gaon ka desh hai. I find that much of the thinking has come from the Max Muller, the person who has never visited India. So you understand this point, that how the colonial thinking has got so much influence in our mind that the way we think today is shaped by the Max Muller and other people. The point which I am trying to argue, that Sanskrit is of course great language. I am not saying that Sanskrit is less important. Sanskrit is very important. But India is such a big country that Sanskrit is not the only language in India. Tamil language is as great. Tamil language is as old as Sanskrit. So India has got so much diversity. So India is not all about one person, one people, one culture, one religion, but India is about multiculturalism. So what I am trying to argue, that the way Gandhi ji was praising ancient civilization, I believe or I think that much of such thinking is very much shaped by a group of colonial scholars who were called Orientalists, and they were highly they were praising Indian civilizations, and they were uncritically praising Indian civilization. So my request to you is that nationalism or being patriotic does not mean that we praise everything which were there in the past. We have to look at India critically. Caste system cannot be supported, okay. Inequality based on gender cannot be supported. So if something is bad in our tradition, we should reject it. So here is my differences with Gandhi, but Gandhi ji is also very different from the Hindu right wing. Hindu right wing will always support what is there in the tradition. But Gandhi ji, I have brought this quotation here, I will show you. Gandhi ji, when Gandhi ji was asked that what about some social ills in Indian tradition, he said of course they have to be removed. So the Gandhi ji is critical traditionalist, okay. He is not supporting everything which is there. So Gandhi ji has said machine is like a snake hole, and what machinery is doing, it is leading to large city. What large cities are doing? Large cities also have tram cars, railways, electric light, then artificial locomotion, and then it is leading to health issues for the people. So finally he said nothing good in machinery, it is evil. So this is basically criticism of the modern way of life. But the question is, can we leave machinery? Can we give up machinery? Can we change the course of the history? Okay. But Gandhi ji, the same question was asked to Gandhi ji also, that Gandhi ji, is it possible to give up everything? So Gandhi ji said, yes, it is possible. Think about the days when we did not have mobile phone. Okay. Think about the days when we do not have bus, we do not have railways. So basically this is Gandhian understanding of ecology, Gandhian understanding of machine. So if I have to summarize what Gandhi ji has to say on machine, suppose you are confused, you have not understood. So you can say in a very simple word, that Gandhi ji wrote a book, that is Hind Swaraj, in 909. It was written originally in Gujarati, and in this book Gandhi ji is very critical of machine. Gandhi ji is critical of machine not because it is owned by the Britishers. He said that machine per se is bad. He is not saying that machine which is established in India will be good and machine which is established, let's say, in Britain would be bad. He is against machine, and he is saying that the kind of machine that is being promoted, the way modern life is being organized, these are all creating problems. Health of the people is going down. People are becoming slaves, the conditions of the workers is going down, and then there is a lot of pollution. You see tram, bus, railways, and he calls it evil system. Okay, he calls it evil system. He calls it sinful system. Okay, and he believes. Okay, I don't know what was Gandhi's positions later, but he believes that it is possible to run away, to escape from this machine-based system. And I remember it. You remember, Prashant, that Sandeep Pandey does not use his mobile phone. Okay, so it is unimaginable. Okay, so Gandhian understanding would be that it is possible to go away, to run away from escape this machine-based system. And Gandhi ji has also linked colonialism to machinery. But is Gandhi right? Is Gandhi unopposed? There is another person named Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar. He has basically criticized Gandhi, and I want to bring Ambedkar here so that you should not think that I am giving only one point of view. Ambedkar ji is completely against Gandhi ji on this question. What Ambedkar ji has to say? Let's see it. So the Ambedkar, instead of condemning machinery, he has basically welcomed the use of machinery. Okay, he has welcomed the use of machinery, and he calls it emancipatory. Machine can emancipate you. Look at this. Look at two different kind of views. Okay, Gandhi ji is saying it is sinful. It is leading to destruction. People are suffering, and here is Ambedkar. Ambedkar said, "No, Gandhi ji, I don't agree with you. Why? The use of machine," Ambedkar said, "can lead to emancipation." Why? Because Ambedkar is saying the problem is not there in this machine computer. Yes. Emancipatory means, it is called in Hindi nijat mil jana, mukti mil jana. Emancipation means end of all sorrow. Emancipation means it is basically a theological term that your all sin is over. Okay, you get everything which you want. Okay, so basically Ambedkar is saying machine is not bad, Gandhiji. Machine can play emancipatory role. It can lead to emancipation. So Gandhiji would ask, okay, how do you say, Dr. Ambedkar? So the Ambedkar will give the example of machine. Let's say this computer is a machine. Okay. So suppose you are a Gandhi and I am Ambedkar. So I would say, Gandhiji, the problem is not there in the machine. The problem is not there in computer. The problem lies in who is owning this machine, who is using this machine, who is being deprived from using this machine. So the problem lies in distribution, in social organizations, in private property. The problem does not lie in things per se. So the Ambedkar would say that I am not against machine, but I am for democratic use of machine. So this is another view. So he has said, Ambedkar ji has said that machine is not the problem, but machine has been monopolized by the few people. Okay. So is mobile phone bad, or mobile phone is bad because only few people are having access to it? And Ambedkar has said that machines should not be criticized, modern civilization should not be criticized, but the concept of private property should be criticized. That why few people having everything and most of the people have nothing. So here Ambedkar, we could see it, Ambedkar is also influenced by Marxism and socialism. Both Ambedkar and Gandhi, they were not Marxists, they were not socialists, but they were influenced by it. So we have got two paradigms. Machine, is machine boon or is machine bane? Okay. For Gandhi ji, it is evil. ये बुरा है, it is bad. For Ambedkar, it is good. For Gandhi ji, machine, whether it is there in England or machine which is there in India, it is not going to help. But for Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, no, machine per se is not good, bad. How machine is being used? Who is owning the machine? What about distribution? That is more important for the Ambedkar ji. So you have got two paradigms, and now we can take insights into environmental issues. Okay, should we oppose everything which is modern, or should we think about why some people have better lifestyle and why most of the people do not have. Okay, why kachara or garbage are dumped into, let's say, poor people's localities, and why rich people's areas are always clean. So the Ambedkar would not oppose use of machine, but Ambedkar would ask the question, who is having resources, who is having money, who is having facility. So let's democratize property, let's democratize resources, do not throw away machine. So the Ambedkar would say that, okay Gandhiji, I understand there is some problem in machinery, but you are throwing baby with bathtub. Do not throw baby with the bathtub, but only throw something which is bad. But Gandhian ideology is also not so easy to dismiss, I am honestly telling you. Because is it possible to fulfill everybody's need? Should we not give up something that is not unsustainable? So these are eternal questions, okay? I wrote a paper in 2015 and 16, I have also shared with you Gandhi's and Ambedkar's view. And if you ask me, I have studied in my MA paper, my teacher has also brought this debate, Gandhi and Ambedkar debate on machinery, okay? And that time, sometimes you feel, okay, Ambedkar ji was right, sometimes you think that, okay, Gandhi ji was right. These are the questions which are not easy to answer. But, yes. Yes, you asked me something, the question, you asked me question. What, please say it again.
So my question was that you have read the Gandhi of 1909 and you have read Gandhi throughout his writings, and what do you feel the difference of Gandhi 1909 versus 1909?
This is very big question. For that you have to do 3-year research. There is a big philosopher whose name is Quinton Skinner. And Quinton Skinner has said that there is no coherence in the argument of the author. So the author will not say the same thing from what he has said today, and he will not say after 30 years. Okay, it is you to take what substantial things he is saying. No, for that you have to give me project. Let's say 3-year project. Okay. The point is coherence. You understand? No person can say the same thing. Whole truth is right. We keep changing. And one thing I am telling you, the last thing let's stop. Let's take the example of Buddhism. Okay. So there are 2 ways of looking at Buddhism. Okay. What Buddha has said? Let's say Buddha has said non-violence. Okay. His message is non-violence. And another message of Buddha is give up private property. Okay. Do not enter into so much luxuries and do not amass wealth. 2 ideas are very key to Buddhism. One is non-violence, love for everybody, love for all animals. And the second is don't keep too much wealth. So Buddha has said 2 things. So there may be 2 ways of looking at, or there may be 2 ways to explain it. One way of explaining this would be that you think that Buddha was such a great person. He was doing meditation. One day this brilliant idea has come to his mind. That is why he said. That is not the proper way of doing it. History. The proper way of doing history is to look for social and economic factors that have influenced Buddha's thinking. So what are those social and what are those economic factors? I will try to explain it. In 6th and 7th century India, what has happened? That iron was discovered. And when iron was discovered, iron tools were made. And when iron tools were made, then forests were cleared. When the forests were cleared, then agriculture arose. When agriculture arose, we need animals for the agriculture. And in the Vedic period, animals were sacrificed. So we need a person who could say, do not kill animal. So he cannot say it so directly, do not kill animal. He said in the garb of a philosophy that have mercy for everybody, including animal. So the point which historian is trying to say, had agriculture not developed, Buddha would have not said that. That is called social and economic history. And one thing, when Buddha said that okay, don't kill animals, he was basically speaking for protection of animals so that they could be used for agriculture. And that is why vegetarianism become a cult Earlier in this country, everybody was eating, most of the people was eating meat. But after a certain point, vegetarianism become a central cult among Hindus, you understand? And another thing you have to keep in mind, that when agriculture developed, city arose. Several cities came like Kosambi, Kushinagar, Saran, Rajgir, Bodh Gaya, and at that time merchants also came up. The merchants were supporting Buddha and Mahavira, and the merchants needed peace because at that time rulers were fighting, and peace is very important for the trade. That is why the theory of non-violence has come. You see the linkages. Buddha has said non-violence, not because he thought non-violence is very good, because there was a social process which required non-violence. You understand? And when people started becoming rich, they started showing off their wealth, and lot of people become poorer. So at that time there was protest against the rich people. So Buddha said, give up the private property, okay, do not amass wealth. So the Buddha was basically siding with the larger people who were denied excesses. The point which I am trying to say, that always look at social and economic forces. What Gandhi ji had said in 909, he said because the social reality was very different in 909. What Gandhi has said in 1947, that time the social reality, the economic reality got changed. That is why the point which I am trying to make, that the statement which is given by the leader, by the politician, by the philosopher, is not his statement or her statement coming out of the mind, okay, he's such a great person, one day he came up, the great idea came. No, his idea is very much influenced by the ground reality. That is what I am trying to say. Yes.
So these great people are reflections of the circumstances.
Yes, all ideas are the reflection of social and economic factors. All ideas are ideas of social and economic factors.